Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the Bharat Mala Pariyojana. It is one of the flagship scheme of Ministry of Road and Transport, and it has been very helpful in increasing the road connectivity within the ambit of Indian territory. So this is the major scheme of the Ministry of Road and Transport, and we will try to see its objective, its feature, as well as what all it has been able to deliver so far. So let's begin. So the first thing that we need to know is that a total of 322 projects in a length of 12,413 kilometer have been awarded, and 2,921 kilometer has been constructed under the Bharat Mala Pariyojana till August 22. Now, this is the reason why this particular Yojana was in news, because this data came out. Now, just you don't have to like really remember it, but at least remember that 2,921 kilometer. Just try to remember this is already been constructed under the Bharat Mala Pariyojana till 2020 August. So this is important data you could remember. Sanctioning is like, if you could remember, that would be really good, but even so, just remember that how many projects, 322. So try to remember those details which are easy to remember, and try to like give an approximate data when you are writing for your mains examination. Now, Bharat Mala Pariyojana is an umbrella program for the highway sector envisioned by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway. So this is again, as mentioned, it is an umbrella program, which means under it a lot of other schemes are also going on. Under phase 1 of Bharat Mala Pariyojana, implementation of 34,800 km of national highways in 5 years, which is like from 2017 to 2022, has been approved at an estimated outlay of 5,35,000 crores. So that was the fund which was allocated for this particular scheme. And if you say the length of it is 34,800 kilometer. So such a length of road has to be constructed under the Pariyojana, Bharat Mala Pariyojana phase 1. However, what it has been, so basically just remember that National Highway Authority of India has mandated the development of about 27,500 kilometer of national highways under phase 1. So almost out of 34,800 kilometer, 27,500 kilometer are to be completed by the National Highway Authority of India. However, what has been found out that as per ICRA Limited, which is basically a private rating agency, phase 1 is likely to be delayed by 4 years due to the prevailing uncertainty due to COVID-19 and consequent impact on valuation. So now what this particular rating agency is saying, that Bharat Mala Pariyojana is going to be delayed. The phase 1, which was supposed to be completed in 2022, is going to be delayed by 4 years, which means now the tentative date seems like it would be around 2026. So this is something which a private agency, private rating agency, ICRA Limited, has actually talked about, and they cited the reason as because of the uncertainty caused by the COVID-19, as well as the kind of impact it had on the valuation of projects. So just remember, the road projects are long gestation. They have like a lot of time is being given for construction of road, and at the same time it follows different kind of models like your hybrid model, annual annuity model. Such kind of models are also there. For an example, if you remember the Taj Express, which connects the Delhi from to Agra, it is under the kind of built and then give it to the operation. So basically what was the whole model was that the private builder will build the road, it will collect the like toll for certain years, and after that it will hand over to the government. So such kind of investment models work in, and hence its valuation is also very important to make it feasible for the private investors also to come forward and invest. So that is also one of the reason because of which there is a consequences that the overall road development is going to be delayed. Now, apart from the phase 1, Phase 2 envisages around 48,000 kilometers of road network across India by 2024. So that was the initial idea, that phase 1 it should be completed by 2022, and another for an example, after another 15,000 kilometers would be added by 2024. So that was the whole idea, but a recent report says that there is a possibility that it could be delayed. So I hope you have understood this. Now let's move forward and get into the details of the scheme. So what was the objective of Bharatmala Pariyojana? So its major objective was to optimize the efficiency of freight and passenger movement. So that is one of the major objective, that it has to optimize the efficiency by which freight or the passenger are moving across the road by bridging critical infrastructure gap through effective intervention. So if you just look at it, the objective was so that the passenger movement as well as the freight movement become seamless. The effective intervention include the development of economic corridors, inter-corridor and feeder routes, national corridor efficiency improvement, border and international connectivity road, coastal and port connectivity roads, and greenfield expressway. We will also discuss what they are little bit in detail going forward in slide, but the effective intervention includes that how we are going for the development of the region as well as how we are improving the connectivity of the area. Economic corridors are integrated network of infrastructure within a geographical area designated to stimulate economic development. So economic corridors, as the name suggests, that basically they will be connecting the economic center and overall leading to the development of the region. Then what are greenfield projects? So they lack constraint imposed by prior work on the site. Typically, it entails development on a completely vacant site. So greenfield project is like the green, the new, like the sapling, it's starting to have the new project itself. So these projects are called as greenfield. Then we have something called as brownfield projects. Here they carry constraint related to the current state of the site and might be contaminated or have existing structures that architects have to tear down or modify some way before the project can move forward. For an example, brownfield project is something where a road has to be constructed but it already has a building constructed over it. So such kind of projects come under the brownfield project area, and this particular Bharatmala Pariyojana do include the brownfield projects as well. So this is the major objective of the scheme. Another objective was to generate large scale number of direct and indirect employment opportunities. So as mentioned earlier, construction or infrastructure sector is one of the major job provider in an economy. So road construction provide direct as well as indirect employment in construction of road infrastructure sector, and also as part of enhanced economic activity resulting from better road connectivity across the country. Think for an example, tourism flourishes when there is a better road connectivity, and tourism leads to different other kind of occupation, or it generate employment even at the remote or hinterland of a country. So basically it leads to the direct as well as indirect employment increment. Also, it aims to connect 550 districts in the country through national highway linkages. Basically, this will allow the better connectivity as well as boost to the rural economy as well as the suburban economy. So boost to economy because of the better connectivity. Transportation is one of the major part of economy which could lead to the development of an area. So this particular scheme envisioned to connect districts with the national highways. So this is the objective. Now what are the features of this scheme? So it aims to improve the efficiency of existing corridor through the development of multimodal logistic parks. So as part of Bharatmala Pariyojana, multimodal logistic park is also a component of it. What is basically multimodal logistic parks? So basically it is a key policy initiative of the government of India to improve country's logistics sector. Logistics sector means how the movement of logistics happen, like how things are moving from one place to another, by lowering overall freight cost, reducing vehicular pollution and congestion, and cutting warehousing costs. So it involves storing, transportation and everything. So it aims to cut the freight cost. So if there is a better transportation, the freight cost will come down. It will also reduce the vehicular pollution if it is traveling less path, or if the road is very smooth, then congestion problem could also be handled, and warehousing cost is also a part of it. A choke point is a single point through which all incoming and outgoing traffic is funneled and hence leads to congestion and traffic. So it also aims to work out on the choke points, so that choke points, the congestion and the traffic hindrance is not there, and the freight movement becomes seamless. So that is also part of the Bharatmala Pariyojana. Just remember, multimodal logistic park, and under that efficiency of maintaining the logistic sector as well as improving on choke points is also one of its under its ambit only. Then enhance focus on improving connectivity in Northeast and leveraging synergies with inland waterways. So we already have Inland Waterways Authority, which is working on the national waterways. So NWs like till 6 we have already kind of have been in plan, and there is a vision to create around 100 waterways. So such kind of inland waterways uses is already been planned and worked on. Then improving connectivity in Northeast. Very recently I have done a video on especially a special accelerated road development program SARDP in Northeast, which is under the same Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, where they are providing extra fund to increase the connectivity of Northeast region. So basically Bharatmala Pariyojana also provides the mandate for it. Then emphasis on the use of scientific and technological planning for project preparation and asset monitoring, so that the projects going forward does not become unviable. It is important that scientific and technological planning is also used. Satellite mappings of corridor to identify upgradation requirement, so that it becomes very difficult to manually monitor what kind of road is under what condition. So it is important that we have satellite imaging where we could see, okay, this road was constructed like maybe 20 years back and now it has more potholes. So such kind of images could be held by the policy makers, and they could just review it and sanction the fund for reconstruction. So such kind of initiatives are also under the ambit of this scheme. Now it also delegate the power to expedite project delivery for successful completion of phase 1. So it says that instead of center holding all the power, this scheme also has a feature to delegate the power so that the project itself is expedited. So the major idea is by 2022, this much length of road has to be constructed. If it requires delegation of power, then this scheme says that it could lead to delegation of power. So that is the main idea. Now when we are at it, let's just also try to understand how this Bharatmala is trying to connect. So as mentioned earlier, it envisioned to create 34,800 kilometer of road, and the project has been provided with 5,35,000 crores fund. What is all included? Now economic corridor, we have also discussed, it is 9,000 kilometer of economic corridor to unlock full economic potential. Basically the whole region will get development. Then we have inter-corridor and feeder routes, around 6,000 kilometer. It will ensure holistic connectivity, so that from everywhere we have between economic corridors, if we are getting hinterland, so inter-corridor are also there, so that better connectivity, holistic, if you are allowed to reach from point A to B, you should be able to connect seamlessly through the points. Then national corridor efficiency improvement, which is enhancing efficiency of movement of freight and passenger. Then border roads and international connectivity around 2,000 kilometer. So in order to boost the border connectivity as well as security measures, it is important that border roads is also connected properly. Then coastal roads and port connectivity, so that the coastal areas or the port areas does not remain the hinterland and get connected with the mainland India, leveraging on ports for progress. Then Greenfield High Expressway, express speeds for express gains. Then balance NHDP works, which is boosting all ground connectivity. So this is the major component, and these are the way through which Bharatmala tried to kind of create a mala, or the what you can say, the garland of roads around the entire territorial extent of India. So that was the major goal behind the Bharatmala Pariyojana. I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.